Texas Stadium's affectionate fans have a rating system that belies the facts. While Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys have won a lot of hearts, they weren't quite number one in 1980. And that's why they found themselves in a wild card matchup against the defending NFC champion Los Angeles Rams. On a Monday night in Anaheim 3 weeks ago, Danny White and the Dallas offense sputtered. The Cowboys were crushed 38-14 by a well-oiled machine controlled by Vince Ferragamo. Ferragamo's matinee idol looks have won a lot of hearts too, but his charm is lost on the Dallas defense. They had a score to settle with Ferragamo and the Rams, and when action commenced last Sunday, Randy White, number 54, went about settling it personally. In the game's early stages, Randy White posed a threat that shut down the Rams' running game. Another kind of threat was posed by rookie return specialist James Jones, number 23. Jones' returns put the Cowboys close enough for a pair of field goals, but touchdowns proved elusive as Danny White's high hopes of mounting a successful passing attack were continually brought down to earth. The play of rookie safety Johnny Johnson, number 20, caused problems for White. Vince Ferragamo's initial passing problems were of a different nature. His goal of bombing Dallas into submission proved to be unreachable. Eventually, Ferragamo found his touch with a 32-yard pass to Preston Denard, number 88. The Rams got 14 extra yards on the play when Denard fumbled, and Charlie Waters, number 41, got a real kick out of the miscue. Ferragamo sought to establish a balanced attack by giving his ground game another try, and this time it worked. Gerald Thomas, number 33, showed the form that had menaced the Cowboys 3 weeks earlier. While Thomas followed this gain with a touchdown, the Rams were unable to run anywhere for the rest of the game. So in the second quarter, Ferragamo took to the air to increase the Los Angeles lead to 13-6. His deft touch enabled Denard to beat Aaron Mitchell, number 34. Denard had 5 receptions for nearly 100 yards in the first half. He and Ferragamo were threatening to once again wreak havoc upon the Cowboys' inexperienced secondary. All signs were pointing toward another Los Angeles romp. But Danny White had other ideas. That White could pass with precision was proven this season, but doubts about his leadership ability still lingered. The specter of Roger Staubach had haunted him throughout the season. Now White had to assert himself to prevent the Rams from turning the game into a rout. He and the Cowboys had progressed too far in 1980 to let it be otherwise. Receivers like Drew Pearson, number 88, successfully challenged the Rams secondary. And while the yards did not come easy, Dallas was moving slowly but surely. White was gradually gaining the confidence that had helped the Cowboys become the NFL's highest-scoring team in 1980. Number 33, Tony Dorsett, was also finding the handle, though his search took some effort. Dorsett's receiving exploits out of the backfield were only half of the story he would write in this game. The other half was etched by his rushing skills. He averaged more than 6 yards per carry in the first half of play, and his 12-yard touchdown dash even matters at 13 apiece. A Dallas offense that had suddenly come alive rekindled the hearts of their fans. In the second half, the Cowboys would set those hearts and the game on fire. In the second half, Vince Ferragamo renewed his assault on Dallas's inexperienced secondary. Number 45, Steve Wilson, met the challenge. Almost. The Rams were counting on the Cowboys' young defenders to lay down on the job. But Ferragamo would issue one challenge too many, and number 34, Aaron Mitchell, made him pay dearly for it. While Mitchell's forward lateral was illegal, there was nothing untoward about his interception. The Dallas defensive backs that Ferragamo had victimized so effortlessly in Anaheim were fighting back, and their inspired performance was equaled by Danny White, who after the intermission came out throwing to receivers like Jay Saldy, number 87. To stop Dallas, the Rams attempted a variety of blitzing techniques. Here, safety Lucius Smith, number 23, leads an assault on White. But Smith was picked up, and while blitzing linebacker Joe Harris, number 51, got through, White connected with Tony Dorsett, number 33, who laid claim to the area vacated by the pair of blitzing defenders. Despite the 10-yard touchdown, the Rams continued to adhere to the blitz. But once again, it proved their undoing. Here they blitzed 3 men, but White read the alignment and isolated Butch Johnson, number 86, on man-to-man coverage. Another look at the 35-yard touchdown reveals that Dorsett helped throw a key block that gave White enough time to hit Johnson. Yet another look at the score shows that White's touch was perfect as he laid the pass just over the outstretched hand of Leroy Irvin, number 47. The Dallas Cowboys' great tradition had been forged by money-on-the-line victories. 14 playoff appearances in the last 15 years attest to that tradition, as do 5 Super Bowl appearances. Now the 1980 unit was staking its claim to becoming a part of that legacy. As for a Ram defense that staked its reputation on the blitz, they had been made to see the folly of their ways. Down 27-13, their frustration was further increased in the fourth quarter by Tony Dorsett. On the Cowboys' final scoring drive, Dorsett carried 6 times for 53 of the drive's 95 yards. White climaxed the proceedings with his 3rd touchdown pass of the half. This one to Drew Pearson, number 88. Dallas had unloaded on the Rams for 21 points in the second half. The Cowboys could do nothing wrong, while the Rams could do nothing. They totaled but 6 first downs in the final 2 periods, as Ferragamo passed for a mere 49 yards after the intermission. The Midas touch of this California Golden Boy had finally lost its luster. When the final gun had sounded, the Cowboys had accomplished a twofold purpose. They had advanced to the second round of the playoffs and avenged one of the most bitter defeats in Dallas history. While the Cowboys' performance produced a lot of heroes, Tony Dorsett earned the spotlight's brightest glare. By gaining 160 yards on the ground, he paced a team playoff record for total rushing yardage, and he more than satiated a Dallas crowd hungry for Sunday heroics. Vince Ferragamo's 1980 heroics now belong to history, while the Dallas Cowboys have more history to write, and the final chapter could be written in New Orleans on January 25th. The Oilers were in the playoffs thanks to Earl Campbell, but it was the Raiders who said thanks when number 34 fumbled on the game's first play from scrimmage. Earl's 373 carries were an all-time NFL high, and he is usually as sure-handed as he is durable, but he didn't start out that way. The Raiders were quick to take advantage of Campbell's rare mistake, as Chris Barr kicked a 47-yard field goal to give Oakland a 3-0 lead. Quarterback Kenny Stabler, number 12, playing before the Oakland fans who had cheered him in his decade as a Raider, tried to recapture his old magic by throwing deep. A heads-up play by Burgess Owens, number 44, briefly curtailed Stabler's wizardry, but not the invocation of higher powers. Stabler regained his touch with a flip to Ronnie Coleman, number 47. The reserve halfback responded with a 23-yard gain to Oakland's 26-yard line. Earl Campbell is to the Oilers' offense what Texas is to America's oil industry. Behind a block by fullback Tim Wilson, number 45, Earl showed why he is 2 legs up on the rest of the league's running backs and head and shoulders beyond NFL defenders. Campbell carried the ball 5 straight times and scored on a 1-yard plunge to put Houston ahead 7-3 as he accumulated 62 yards in the first half. Oakland's Jim Plunkett, number 16, has returned from limbo to lead the Raiders. The Raiders elbowed their way to the 2-yard line thanks to a fine catch by Kenny King, number 33. Oakland obtained King from their favorite trading partners, Houston, in exchange for Jack Tatum. Plunkett then quickly fired to Todd Christensen. For number 46, it was the first reception in a 3-year pro career, and it gave Oakland a 10-7 lead. Never having scored a touchdown before, the reserve tight end was unsure how to dispose of the ball. Like your first love, your first touchdown is hard to part with. Kenny Stabler, combative as always, planned immediate retaliation, but he was not prepared for a tactic Oakland hadn't shown all season: blitzing safeties and cornerbacks. Lester Hayes, number 37, another in Oakland's long line of all-pro defensive backs, led the NFL with 13 interceptions this year, the second highest single-season total in league history. When number 85, Bob Chandler, runs his patterns against Hayes in practice, Chandler rarely gets as open as he did against Houston's number 33, J.C. Wilson. Although out of bounds on this catch, Chandler has performed brilliantly this year. Obtained from Buffalo after last season, he has caught 49 passes for 10 touchdowns. Chandler's feet have never been fast, but his hands have always been sure. But Chandler wasn't the only one frustrated as Plunkett tried for more. An interception by Houston's Vernon Perry limited Oakland's halftime lead to 10-7 and prevented a potential Raider runaway. To get to the Super Bowl, said Bum Phillips, you must pass through Pittsburgh. Not so in 1980. Instead, the Oilers must pass and run through Oakland. Down 3 points, the Houston offensive line was tiring. Constantly pressured, Ken Stabler squirmed free often enough to locate receivers like Mike Renfro, number 82. Neither team would score in the third quarter, and while Houston dominated the period, Mike Barber and the Oilers stumbled near the goal line. Following another drive, this time to the Oakland 11, Stabler sought out the go-ahead touchdown. Lester Hayes' interception of a Houston deflection prevented the score, and if there was a turning point to the game, this was it. The human energy emitted by Hayes and friends would power them through the game's remaining minutes. By contrast, Houston's offensive energy was sapped. They would not generate another point. The Oiler defense did manage some resistance, sacking Oakland's Jim Plunkett 3 times, this time by Elvin Bethea, number 65. The 9-yard loss was a result of a stunt when Bethea ran around Raider Art Shell, number 78, preoccupied with a Houston linebacker. Like the Raiders of seasons past, Oakland struck suddenly. Not since the retirement of Clarence Davis have the Raiders had a bona fide outside running threat, the likes of number 33, Kenny King. Another trait missing from the Raiders system in recent years is the big play. That, too, has been revived in Oakland. After one swift motion, 44 yards from Jim Plunkett to Arthur Whittington, number 22, the Raiders were on top, 17-7. The game's momentum had shifted Oakland's way, and Coach Tom Flory's defense made the 10-point lead stand up. First, the Raider front line stopped the heart and soul of the Houston offense, limiting Earl Campbell, number 34, to just 29 second-half yards. Not once all season had the Raiders utilized a cornerback blitz. On this afternoon, it was back in vogue. Lester Hayes circumvented the Houston down lineman to register 2 sacks of his own. Joining in the blitz from another angle, linebacker Ted Hendricks, number 83, made no secret of his intentions, and along with cornerback Mike Davis, smothered Stabler for another one of 7 total Raider sacks, good for 69 yards and losses. Of Hendricks' 12 pro seasons, 1980 may well be his best. Though the Raider blitz no longer surprised, it remained ever effective for the likes of Mike Davis, number 36. Shut out for the final 3 periods of play, the Oilers' chances of winning were slim and none. With this Stabler pass, Slim went home. Lester Hayes' touchdown put the Raiders' victory champagne on ice and pointed out an error in Houston's play selection. Sideline passes from your own 2-yard line are dangerous, especially when going man-to-man with the NFL's leading interceptor. The Oilers had fallen into a silver and black hole and will reappear in the fall of 1981. For the Oakland Raiders, their second season had begun with a 20-point win. For Ken Stabler, it was not a traditional happy homecoming. Post-game greetings from his former Raider teammates could not disguise the fact that Stabler's mission in Houston was unaccomplished. While Oakland travels to Cleveland for round 2 of the playoffs, Houston's Super Bowl dreams disappear.